News spread like a shockwave. 22 years old, at the height of her fame, gone before she had even reached cruising altitude. Investigators pointed to a brutal list of facts. The aircraft overloaded, the pilot unlicensed, traces of cocaine in his system, and a flight that should never have been cleared for takeoff. But behind those official lines was a darker question that still claws at fans and journalists. Why was she on that plane at all? People close to the shoot claimed she wanted to rest and return later. Others insisted she was pressured to leave immediately to keep production on schedule. And in the hours before the crash, several witnesses recalled her retreating into herself. Quiet, withdrawn, as if stepping into a fate she did not choose. Her final flight became more than an accident. It became a wound in modern music history, a moment when the future of R&B collapsed into smoke on an empty Bahamian airstrip. The world was told it was a tragedy, but that was only the surface. The truth behind what happened to the princess of R&B would follow us for decades, and the questions never stopped. Aaliyah Dana Houghton was born on January 16, 1979 in Brooklyn, though her true childhood unfolded in Detroit, a city built on soul music, factory smoke, and the stubborn belief that talent could rewrite destiny. She grew up in a modest home on St. Antoine Street, surrounded by family members who carried music like a second heartbeat. Her mother, Diane, had once dreamed of a Broadway stage. Her father, Michael, kept the family anchored, practical, and protective. Their daughter, small and sharp-eyed, absorbed every note around her. Detroit in the late 80s was a place of cracked pavements and vibrant gospel choirs. Every weekend, churches lifted voices that filled the city's hollow spaces, and Aaliyah found her place among them. She sang in the choir at Gesu Catholic School, barely able to see over the microphone stand, yet her voice rose with a clarity that made adults turn their heads. By 10 years old, she was performing at weddings, charity events, anywhere that welcomed a shy girl with a startling tone. Her aunt, the legendary Gladys Knight, noticed her early, not because of family ties, but because the child didn't just sing. She translated emotion. The early 90s brought a shifting cultural tide. Hip-hop was carving its way into mainstream America. R&B was reinventing itself with younger faces, smoother beats, and a new aesthetic. Cool, minimal, mysterious. Aaliyah fit into this moment with uncanny precision. The world was becoming faster, sharper, louder, and yet her presence was calm, almost still. She wore oversized jackets, tinted shades, and carried herself with a quiet confidence that made people lean closer. At 14, she stepped into a recording booth for the first time at the Blackground Record Studio in Detroit. The walls smelled of fresh carpet and warm electronics, the kind of place where ambition hummed in the air. Engineers watched her from behind the glass as she adjusted her headphones with practiced ease. When she opened her mouth, the room changed. Her voice was smooth but grounded, mature beyond her years. Producers knew instantly that she was not the kind of talent you molded. She already came shaped. Detroit taught her discipline, her family taught her humility, but fame would test both. The girl who once sang beneath stained glass windows was now poised to enter an industry ready to claim her brilliance and her vulnerability. She was barely a teenager, yet the machinery of music was already turning toward her, preparing to push her into a world that often devours the gifted before they understand the cost. But the rise was not without shadows. As her fame grew, so did the uncomfortable attention surrounding her partnership with producer R. Kelly. Tabloids began to dissect their closeness. Rumors spread faster than her records. The industry looked away, choosing profit over protection. For Aaliyah, still barely 16, the spotlight was beginning to feel like a trap, a warm glow that could burn if she stood too close. In 1996, everything shifted again. She severed professional ties with Kelly and rebuilt her image from the ground up. Her second album, One in a Million, produced by Timbaland and Missy Elliott, redefined contemporary R&B. Complex beats, breathy vocals, and a sound that felt carved from the future. It sold over 8 million copies worldwide. Critics called her the new architect of the genre. By 1999, she transitioned effortlessly into acting. She trained intensely for her role in Romeo Must Die, spending hours in combat rehearsals, bruising her arms on wire rigs, refusing stunt doubles whenever possible. The film opened at #2 at the box office, and suddenly Hollywood saw her not just as a singer, but as a bankable star. Offers poured in. The Matrix sequels, Sparkle, Honey. She was 20, and the world was rearranging itself around her potential. Success, however, carried a quiet pressure. Her schedule became relentless. Recording sessions in Los Angeles, fight choreography in Burbank, fashion shoots in New York, and music video pre-production in the Bahamas. She told friends she was exhausted, but she never slowed down. The machine around her didn't allow slowing. In 2001, after finishing her third album, she accepted the lead role in Queen of the Damned. To embody the ancient vampire Akasha, she studied dance forms from Egypt, Lebanon, and India, pushing her body to extremes while simultaneously preparing for the Rock the Boat music video shoot. The contrast between her poised presence on screen and the mounting pressure behind the scenes was becoming harder to ignore. In the final months before her death, she reached a new level of cultural dominance. Magazine covers, film premieres, award shows. She seemed unstoppable. Yet those closest to her noticed something different, a quiet fatigue, a glaze of worry she never explained. The climb that once felt effortless was turning steep, and the world kept demanding more. But fame doesn't last, and intuition doesn't lie. In the summer of 2001, while filming the music video for Rock the Boat in the Bahamas, Aaliyah carried a heaviness she couldn't name. The production days were scorching, long hours under blinding sun, camera cranes sweeping overhead, and a team desperate to capture the perfect ocean goddess imagery before the deadline closed in. Behind her calm exterior, exhaustion pressed deeper than ever. Crew members later described moments when she drifted into silence mid-conversation, as if mentally stepping away from the noise around her. On August 25th, the final day of shooting, the schedule fractured. Equipment delays, light changes, and miscommunications created chaos. By late afternoon, the crew was behind and pressure tightened. Some wanted to depart immediately to return gear to Miami. Others insisted on waiting for the main charter scheduled for the following morning. Aaliyah reportedly expressed a desire to rest and fly later. Yet the smaller Cessna 402B was prepared for departure anyway. Its cargo space already jammed with lighting cases, camera equipment, and bags stacked beyond its safe limit. What happened next became the heart of the tragedy. Witnesses at the Marsh Harbor Airport recalled seeing Aaliyah escorted to the plane. She looked unusually withdrawn, her body language tense. According to multiple accounts, she voiced discomfort about boarding. Moments later, a dispute broke out between the ground staff and the pilot about the aircraft's weight. The warnings were clear: too heavy, too risky. But the decision was made: take off anyway. The pilot, Luis Morales III, had a record the public wouldn't learn until after the crash. Forged medical certificates, no authorization to fly the aircraft, and traces of cocaine and alcohol found in his system during the autopsy. Still, he pushed the throttle forward. At 6:50 p.m., the plane accelerated down the runway. It lifted only a few feet before losing control. In less than 200 meters, it tilted violently, crashed into a nearby embankment, and exploded into flames. The impact killed everyone on board instantly. Locals ran toward the smoke, but the scene was already silent. Just twisted metal, scorched sand, and pieces of luggage scattered under the fading light. News outlets rushed to explain. Overloaded aircraft, unlicensed pilot, bad decisions. But beneath the official reports lay the darker, unspoken truth. A young woman, overworked and exhausted, may have been pushed into a flight she never wanted. Hollywood's deadlines had collided with human vulnerability, and only one side survived. Her death wasn't just a fall, it was a fracture, a moment where the future of R&B, the promise of a new kind of artist, vanished in a burst on an empty runway. Her third album, released only weeks before her death, surged across charts again, every track suddenly carrying the weight of finality. Critics re-evaluated her work with new eyes, recognizing how she had quietly shaped the future of R&B before anyone realized what she was building. Artists spoke openly about her influence, her restraint, her tone, her coolness that required no explanation. Even those who had never met her said the loss felt personal. Investigations unfolded slowly. Reports confirmed the aircraft had exceeded its safe weight by more than 300 pounds. The pilot should never have been at the controls. The warnings had been ignored. There was no closure in the findings, only a string of preventable failures. Her parents, devastated, withdrew from the public eye. They declined interviews, refused sensational offers, and protected her memory with a fierce stillness that contrasted sharply with the noise surrounding her death. Yet in the years that followed, her presence grew rather than faded. Filmmakers, dancers, producers, and stylists traced their inspirations back to her. New generations discovered her music not through nostalgia, but through relevance. TikTok revived her choreography. Fashion houses referenced her sleek silhouettes. Vocalists studied her softness, that delicate balance of power and restraint. Her absence reshaped her legacy. She became a symbol of potential interrupted, a reminder of how fragile brilliance can be when the world demands too much from someone too young. Aaliyah's story was no longer just about a plane crash. It became a meditation on fame, trust, pressure, and the invisible weight that often sits on the shoulders of the gifted. Her voice lived on in remasters, tributes, and samples that drifted across decades. Each revival felt like a small resurrection, a quiet acknowledgement that some stars don't vanish. They simply move beyond our reach. Hollywood forgets fast. The machine is built to move forward, always hungry for the next face, the next headline, the next miracle. Yet some stories refuse to fade, lingering like the echo of a note that was never meant to end. Aaliyah became one of those rare echoes, not because she died young, but because she carried a softness that felt invincible. A quiet strength the world didn't know how to protect. Her music still slips into new generations without effort. Her fashion still resurfaces in digital timelines as if she were walking among them. Her influence appears in artists who never lived in her era, but move as if they inherited something from her. A rhythm, a stillness, a clarity. She didn't just shape a genre, she shaped an attitude. What remains is a photograph taken months before her death. Aaliyah sitting on a rooftop in Los Angeles, dusk settling behind her, sunglasses in hand, a half smile that seems to understand both the beauty and the burden of being chosen by fame. It is a moment frozen just before everything changed, a reminder of what she gave the world and what the world took from her. She left quietly. The impact did not. Some lights dim, hers never did.